Hello, I'm Carina. Welcome back to this channel. And if you've been here before, and welcome to this channel if you're new, and also that you're new because this is just my second video. And hit the subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. Hit the notification bell, even more important, so you don't miss or equally important probably, so you don't miss any future videos, and hit the like button and comment. Let's keep in touch. So this channel is called Life Inside and Out with Carina, because that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about life and how to move your well-being, inner and outer well-being, and your life from where you are to where you want it to be, because odds are that there are areas in your life where that isn't what you want it to be. And I have been on that journey myself, and I am passionate about this journey that I'm on and learning more about how we function as human beings in this world and this universe, because it's all connected. And I'm going to get into that in other videos, but for today I just want to tell you a little bit about my story. And one of the biggest takes I have on all this and what life really is, and a kind of like a little bit of a first step on how to shift what you're doing to start making life a little bit more smooth. But first of all, I want you to know that there's no quick fix to this. There are methods, there are tools, there are understandings, but you are where you are because of a string of things, of choices, of decisions, of moments, and you will get to where you want to be because you start choosing those moments differently. But before I get to that, my story is that about 12 years ago, my dad passed away from cancer, and on his last day, in our last conversation, just him and I, he told me that he wanted me to be happy. And a few months later, that I started to take steps towards that. And after a night of wishing I had never been born, or that I could sink just through the earth and never have existed, or not remember anything, because everything in my life was just a struggle and chaos, every single part of my life. At that point, I had just broken up with my current boyfriend. I had a huge argument with a very close relative, not related to my dad. And we had sworn to never speak to each other ever again. That lasted for a few years, but we speak to each other now. And of course, I had lost my dad, when my dad was my safe haven. Whenever I felt extra lost in my life, I would go to my dad. We didn't live in the same town. So I would go there for a weekend or for a week, for a few days, and just be there with him, because it made me feel so safe to be there. And I still remember moments where we were on different sofas next to each other in his living room, and I could just stretch out my hand and he would take it, and we would just sit there. I never talked to him about anything that upset me or that was going on in my life, because I never needed to, because he was so unconditionally there for me. And this was a big thing, because he was never physically there when I was a kid for different reasons. I only saw him once or twice a year, from age 4 or 5 to, until I was an adult and could decide more for myself. So when I lost these 3 important people in my life over the time of 3 months, and I was in this place where I didn't want to exist anymore, I woke up the next morning with the idea to move abroad. And in the back of my head, I had my dad's words that he wanted me to be happy. And I completely was not. My son was 19 at the time. I was 39. And he had his own place and had his own life, and didn't really need me at the time. So 5 days later, I moved to Spain, a country I had never been to before. I chose Spain because the only things I really knew was that I needed to be somewhere where it was sunny and warm and close to the sea. And I happened to have an old friend who lived here at the time. So it was a moment's decision, and it took me a few days to just do what I felt I needed to do and just get on that flight to go here. And I've been here for close to 12 years now. Never regretted it for a second, because that was the first important step of intention to make my life happy, to make myself happy. And for the first time in a very, 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 very long time, I felt completely free to do what I needed to do for me. And we will talk more about my journey and some of the specifics of my journey as time goes on. But during this last decade or so that I have deliberately been doing this work, the one thing that has kept me on my path was that decision to honor my dad, that decision to live my life happy, and to make every day a happy day, no matter what. And that doesn't mean that I don't cry. It doesn't mean that I don't feel pain, that I don't feel hurt, that I don't get angry or frustrated. I feel all of the feelings. And everyone who used to know me back in those days could probably tell you that I'm a very emotional person. And I still am. The difference now is that I have shifted my emotions from fear of lack, from worry, from feeling not good enough, from not feeling worthy or valued, from being in pain and hurt and constantly thinking that didn't matter what I would do, I was never gonna go anywhere with my life. I was just doomed to be miserable. That's where I was. And now I keep getting overwhelmed with feelings of love, of appreciation, of joy, of satisfaction and harmony. And one of the biggest reasons for that is that choice, that decision that I made. inspired by my dad's and my last conversation, his wish for me to be happy. And one of the other things that I have learned from that is that we choose in every moment how we're going to feel in that moment. And we choose in every moment how we're going to feel in the next moment. And we choose, we have the capability to choose our thoughts, and we certainly have the capability to choose our actions. And those three things, our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions, is what make up our lives. In every moment of every day, you have a choice. You have a choice to find the best feeling you can feel. Or you have a choice to find a not so good feeling. You have a choice to look upon everything that happens in your life with eyes and a mindset that move you closer to what you want to feel going through life and in that moment, or to hold you in a place where you don't feel very good, where the outcome isn't very good, because the outcome actually is affected by your choice in how you feel in the moment. So becoming aware of this was crucial for me. And I teach my clients, my coaching clients, to do this, and it's been transformational for them as well. So this is a super important part of life, to take that responsibility, to stop blaming anyone else for, or yourself for that matter, because you didn't know any better until now. Now you do know better. Because nobody else is responsible for how you feel. It doesn't, no matter how someone else treats you, you still have a choice how you react, act, think, and feel about what happened. And that's a responsibility you have in every moment. And this is probably gonna trigger you one way or another. You might feel like, oh, this rings true to me somehow, but you don't understand really why. Or you might be really upset and say that you can't blame the victims for whatever happens to them. And no, you can't blame the victims for whatever happens to them. That's not what we're saying here. That's not at all what I'm saying here. Everybody's responsible for their actions. But when we learn how to live this way, to take responsibility for our thoughts and our feelings and our actions, we also learn to live our lives through our hearts. And when we live our lives through our hearts, there's no way we're going to choose something that deliberately hurts anyone else, because that would mean we hurt ourselves. That would mean we put ourselves in a situation where we don't feel good. And our goal is to feel good. That's what we want. Everybody wants whatever they want in life because they believe it will make them feel better, one way or another. And you don't need anything. You just need you. And you already have you. You just have to find you. So this is what I'm going to talk more about. That it's the little moments where we choose to feel good, to enjoy, to experience it in a positive way, that has the power to make up the good stuff in our lives. That's how the good stuff in our lives are made up. All the good stuff in our lives are good because we have decided to feel good about them. It doesn't just happen. You can have two different people being in the exact same place, situation, and one of them is miserable, angry, frustrated, and want to be somewhere else, and the other person is enjoying themselves and having fun and feeling love. The situation is still the same. The only difference is how the different people choose to react to that situation. So in every moment we can choose to feel the best we can feel in that moment. Sometimes it's being sad or angry, and sometimes we realize that no, I don't want to give up my good feeling to feel angry or sad or hurt because someone else did something. And I'm here to teach you how to do that. Your responsibility is to learn, is to get curious, open your minds and hearts to this information, because this might be new to you. If it's new to you, your brain, your mind isn't familiar with it, and it will start fighting you. And we'll talk more about that in further coming videos. So for now, I just want to leave you here. And what do you choose in the moment, in this moment, right now, when you're watching this? What do you choose to feel? What thoughts are you thinking? And do you feel good when you think those thoughts? And how are you going to act? It's a good place to start. So again, hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, the like, thumbs up, and keep coming back. It works if you work it. So bye for now.